TechXchange is coming up and it is IBM's biggest conference of the year. I actually just found out that I'm gonna be there, so I want to take a few minutes to tell you what this conference is all about.
All right, what is happening here? What is this? I thought I was connecting to a meeting. What's going on here? Is that Joshua?
Graham, what are you doing? And why are you in my TV?
All right, well, were you talking about TechXchange? Because I'm sort of like Beetlejuice, right? It's like, if you talk about TechXchange enough, I just appear and start talking about it.
I was talking about it, yeah, but how do I even know this is real and I'm not hallucinating? I mean, okay, so let's see. What happens if I press this?
Oh, what's happening here?
This is still one of the weirdest things, but since I have you here, I'll just go ahead and ask you some questions about TechXchange. All right, let's say someone walks up to you on the street and they ask you what TechXchange is. What do you tell them?
Well, you know what, Joshua? I tell them TechXchange is a learning conference, so it's really unlike most conferences you go to. So this is for people who use IBM products and solutions, right? So technologists, developers, business practitioners. This is where they come to not only learn how to use those products and solutions, but also advance their career. So through sessions, labs, certifications, there's so many ways and so much going on at this conference. This is really where you find your people and meet the experts.
I know there are a lot of conferences out there, so what do you think makes this conference unique?
Oh, I love that question. What do I think makes TechXchange unique? Well, I would say that there's really three things that make us unique, and we take all three of them very seriously. And it's community, learning, and fun. And so for community, this is where you come and you can really join a community or join a user group or become a champion or meet the champions, right? So there's all these different communities, whether it's based in one of our 12 technical tracks that we have, or it's one of these other groups that are really, really relevant to your career. This is where you can meet those experts and become part of those groups. Then there's learning, right? And I talked a little bit about this earlier, but it's about advancing you as a user of IBM products and solutions, but also your career. So again, it's those certifications and things like that you can then prove afterward. Hey, I may have spent several days at this conference, but take a look at everything I learned and take a look at how I've really walked away a better, more qualified professional than the day I showed up. And then fun, right? This is a learning conference. And so if you're there, you're working hard, we want you to play hard. So we have an arcade set up in our expo hall that we call the Sandbox. We have a wellness park, we've got games, we've got all kinds of entertainment, we've got a night out at Universal Islands of Adventure. We make sure that if you come and work hard at TechXchange, you're gonna play hard and you're never, ever gonna forget it. That much I can promise you.
You don't have to include any spoilers, but what are you most excited about people seeing and experiencing this year?
Well, there's a lot of things to be excited about when it comes to TechXchange 2025, but I would have to say it's the next evolution, version 3.0 of our Sandbox experience. So previously the Sandbox was only the expo. This year it's almost 1 million square feet. That's over 17 football fields. This thing is huge, and it's packed with an expo main stage, meals, a credentials club, our hands-on labs, certifications, meeting zone, a few other things that I'm not going to spoil yet, but one of them will make you go, woo! So you'll see when you get there. But there's so much to be excited about. And also, I think it's just, we're like a big family, right? So this notion of being able to see our family again, it's like a big reunion when you come to TechXchange. And once a year, I get to spend a few days with thousands of my best friends. And I am really looking forward to seeing them again. So you know what, Joshua, there's just a lot to be excited about.
All right, so when is it? Where is it? And can people still sign up?
Well, it's going to be at the Orange County Convention Center in Orlando, Florida. It will be October 6th to the 9th, and absolutely you can still register. But you want to do it quick because both registration and hotels are filling up. So we want people, if you have the intention of going, you should probably make that decision sooner rather than later. And let me tell you something, if you only get to pick from one event to go to a year, this is the one you want to be at. You're going to see the latest and greatest. You're going to meet experts from around the world. world. There will be people who understand you, the technology you use, and the industry you work in, and you're going to get to go back to work to say, hey, look, it cost me a few $1,000s to go to this thing, but I got tens of thousands of dollars of training, and I had an amazing time, and I joined these communities, and I learned about a user group, and I am now better off than when I showed up. So that's what our managers, our directors, our vice presidents, our C-suites all want to hear, right? They want to know that when we go to these conferences, we come back a better, more qualified professional, and we promise that'll happen. So Orlando, October, it's open, let's go.
Okay, so before I turn my TV off, because this is still super weird, are there any final thoughts that you want to share about TechXchange? Oh, and maybe more importantly, Nintendo or Sega? Go.
Any final thoughts I want to share, and you asked me about Nintendo versus Sega. Well, both of those are kind of loaded questions, because first of all, I grew up, I had a Magnavox Odyssey 3000. Kids, if you don't know what that is, Google it. You probably won't believe it was a real thing. Then I went to a friend's house to play Atari, because I didn't have an Atari. Then I went to another friend's house to play Nintendo, because I didn't have a Nintendo. Then I went to another friend's house to play Sega, because I didn't have a Sega. But eventually, I got a PlayStation. And I've been a PlayStation user ever since. I still have my original PlayStation. We never called it a PS1. We just called it PlayStation. But now I use my PlayStation 5, and I am still playing video games with the guys whose houses I used to go to play video games at their houses. So it's a community, a connection that never went away. And you know what? That actually leads into what I want to share about the conference. I am a big believer in the power of play. I am a big believer that we learn about ourselves, our connections to others, and we actually build community through play. So when you come to TechXchange, whether you go to the Sandbox Arcade, you join us for our opening night block party and you play a giant battleship, or you take a ride on, oh, I almost said it. I almost leaked the secret. I'm not going to say, you got to see when you get there. But I'm a big believer in play. And I'll give you an example. We have Nintendo Wii's playing Mario Kart set up in our environment. And we have Switches and all kinds of things. And one of the things that I love is to watch people pull up a beanbag and play Mario Kart. And when they do that, what's really fun is they're not just sitting there playing, they're actually continuing to have discussions about what they're learning at the conference. So they're getting to know each other, they're talking maybe about a certification test they're about to take, or a session they went to, or an expert they met, and they're actually building community, building relationships, learning about each other through the power of play. So that's one thing I'm really excited about. And I'm really glad you asked me about video games, because I work really hard to make sure that we have lots of retro and current video games on hand for people to play, in addition to many other things, because I am a big believer in the power of play. So Joshua, I am challenging you to a game of Mario Kart, and we'll see who wins.
Well, thanks so much for your time and appearing and weirding me out and just talking all about TechXchange. I'm even more excited than I was before, so I really appreciate it.
Oh, it's my pleasure, Joshua. Thank you so much for having me participate in this. First of all, I love that room. I love all the stuff. I watch your videos. I think it's so cool. I probably shouldn't ever be invited there because some things might mysteriously disappear. But I'm really excited about TechXchange, if it's not obvious, and I'm really excited to welcome you there as well. And for your viewers, I hope you will really give some strong consideration to joining us. It is an incredible opportunity for you to really dig into those things I talked about, right? Community, learning, and fun. So thanks, man. It was great to chat today. Okay, next one is you want me doing some kind of action, so I'll just sit up and start doing some actions. Here we go. I don't know if that's what you want, but that's what you're getting.